most influential gadgets of all time. Think of the gear you can't live without, the smartphone you constantly check. It's those devices we're recognizing in this list of the 50 most influential gadgets of all time. Others, such as the iPod, propelled an existing idea into the mainstream. And a few represent exciting but unproven new concepts. Looking at you, Oculus Rift. Rather than rank technologies, writing, electricity, and so on, we chose to rank gadgets, the devices by which consumers let the future creep into their present. The human toll of Poland's strict abortion laws. Apple was the first company to put a truly powerful computer in the pockets of millions when it launched the iPhone in 2007. Apple's device ushered in a new era of flat, touchscreen phones with buttons that appeared on screen as you needed them, replacing the chunkier phones with slide-out keyboards and static buttons. The iPhone popularized the mobile app, forever changing how we communicate, play games, shop, work, and complete many everyday tasks. The iPhone is a family of very successful products. The Trinitron was the first TV receiver to win a vaunted Emmy Award, and over the next quarter-century, went on to sell over 100 million units worldwide. Was George Orwell right about 1984? With its graphical user interface, easy-to-use mouse and overall friendly appearance, the Macintosh was Apple's best hope to take on IBM. While vinyl records were still the most popular music format, the Walkman, originally the Soundabout, in the United States, played much smaller cassettes and was small enough to fit in a purse or pocket. What would the computer market look like today without the IBM PC? Sure, the world had personal computers before the 5150 was introduced in 1981. Even more influential than the 5150 itself was Big Blue's decision to license its PC operating system, DOS, to other manufacturers. Though the phonograph was invented in 1877, it was the Victor Talking Machine Company's Victrola that first made audio players a staple in most people's homes. Eventually, the Victor Talking Machine Company would be bought by RCA, which would go on to become a radio and television giant. A post-World War II innovation developed by Texas Instruments, which had been making devices for the Navy, and Industrial Development Engineering Associates, which previously put out television antennas for Sears, the $49.95, 3x5-inch, battery-powered portable was built on technology developed by Bell Labs. And as revolutionary as all this tech was, it only scratches the surface of how the Regency, by ushering in truly portable communications, changed the world overnight. Marketed toward children, carried by soldiers, and affordable to everyone, this small, brown leatherette and cardboard camera introduced the term, snapshot, through its ease of use and low cost. For Kodak, the low-cost shooter was the hook that allowed the company to reel in money through film sales. The iPod simultaneously made piracy more appealing, by letting people carry their 1,000-song libraries in their pockets, while also providing a lifeline to the flailing music industry with the iTunes Store, which eventually became the world's biggest music retailer. These people would go on to buy MacBooks, iPhones and iPads in droves, helping to make Apple the most valuable technology company in the world. But only in name, the Magic Wand, in service since the late 1960s, likely remains the best-known product stateside made by the $33.5 billion Japanese company. If you trace the path of technology far enough, iconic adding machines like this 1970 classic blazed the trail for the smartphones we're packing today. Selling for $345 at its launch, a cool $2,165 today, this calculator was built around 3 circuits that let it add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Predating the Betamax versus VHS format war, the N1500 recorded television onto square cassettes, unlike the VCRs that would achieve mass-market success in the 1980s. Originally selling in the UK for around £440, it would cost more than $6,500 today. Its blocky 8-bit graphics looked nothing like the lavish, rousing illustrations on its game jackets, but the black and faux wood Atari 2600 game console was the first gaming box to stir the imaginations of millions. It brought the arcade experience home for $199, about $800 adjusted for inflation, including a pair of iconic digital joysticks and games with computer-controlled opponents, a home console first. It sold poorly in the months after its launch in September 1977, but when games like Space Invaders and Pac-Man arrived a few years later, sales shot into the millions, positioning Atari at the vanguard of the incipient video gaming revolution. Irua Badong 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 PSSSSSSSSSSSSH. In the days before broadband, that was the sound the Internet made. The NES was to video gaming what the Beatles were to rock and roll, single-handedly resuscitating the market after it launched in 1983. Other Android-powered smartphones existed before the Droid launched in 2009, but this was the first one popular enough to push Android into the spotlight. That the TiVo made it easier than ever to record a TV show gave rise to time shifting, or the phenomenon of viewers watching content when it fits their schedule. Nothing speaks to Iwata's legacy more than the company's game-changing Wii, pun intended. With more than 160 million sold, it became a bestseller for the Finnish company. Most importantly, it allowed users to easily upload all that data to the company's website for ongoing analysis, encouragement or guilt. Developed by the godfather of the iPod, Tony Fadell, the Nest Learning Thermostat was the first smart home device to capture mass market interest following its launch in 2011.